the author and creator of Hillary's America, Dinesh D'Souza. Good evening, Dinesh.
Hello.
All right, Dinesh, what I'd like to find out from you is, having written Hillary's America and produced it, do you feel when you see her coming back that she's looking to recreate Hillary's America again, and what are the chances of that?
I think with Hillary, as with Obama, you're dealing with characters who have no ability to change, to really innovate. They're what they are now, what they always have been. Now, with Hillary, she represents a kind of unification of two strains in the Democratic Party, both bad. One is the kind of gangster strain, which is a strain of self-aggrandizement, piling on the money, using the government as a weapon against your opponents, feathering your nest. On the other side, the ideological strain, the kind of socialist strain that seeks to centralize power. And Hillary has sort of united these two strains in the Democratic Party. Now, when she was in the government, she was able to draw money because she could both intimidate her opponents and also offer carrots to foreign governments, foreign entities, essentially by paying her.
But she doesn't have that power anymore.
Exactly, and this is why I think her re-entry into politics is going to be so intriguing, because she's now got to rely on that Clinton shysterism to cajole money out of people who are going to be reluctant to give.
Well, and so how is she going to do it? If Tom Perez is not stepping up to the plate, or, you know, is getting booed all the time by the Bernie Sanders supporters, and, you know, if Bernie Sanders calls himself a socialist, he doesn't even think he's a Democrat. I mean, is there room, is there a vacuum so that Hillary does come back?
I think Hillary and Obama are both have become huge millstones for the Democratic Party. You can just see the debris that the Democratic Party has generated, the loss of governorships, the loss of the sort of rout in the House and the Senate. But nevertheless, they're counting on conning their own hardcore supporters into believing that they remain the iconic totems of the Democratic Party and of the leftist cause.
And right now, if she doesn't have access to sell, and she doesn't have the ability to do any of the stuff that she did when she was in power, do you think that the American people are sucker enough to give her money?
I don't think the American people are. The real question is, can she tap into the large engines of money and power on the left? Remember that the left has been sort of routed from the government, but they remain very dominant in academia, in the media, in Hollywood, in the whole world of the culture. And there's a great deal of both cultural power, but there's also a great deal of money, George Soros and so on. So the question is, do the Clintons still have their greasy magic to be able to get money out of those people?
Well, yeah, well, you know, I would suspect that, you know, given the women who are marching on the day after the inauguration, I mean, and you'd ask them, what are you marching for or against? They didn't seem to know that, you know, it's just a generic kind of, we're not happy and maybe, you know, let's get behind her. But let's talk about socialism, Venezuela. All right, the protests in Venezuela and what is happening over there, because people are revolting because they want food and they want medical care. I mean, do you see a connection between the message of Hugo Chavez, his ability to raise money, and the trauma that's going on in Venezuela now?
My wife Debbie is from Venezuela, so I've learned a lot about that country through her. The truth of it is that Venezuela represents a realization of everything that Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren talk about. They want to bring the top 1% to heel. They've done that in Venezuela. They want the government to sort of direct and quarterback the private sector. They do it over there. And the bottom line is that a once prosperous country, an oil-rich country, has been reduced to starvation and ruin. And when Hugo Chavez died a few years ago, his net worth was $1 billion, greater than even the Clintons. So he, too, was a gangster just like the Clintons, using the government and using government power to accumulate a great deal of private wealth for himself.
Oh, Dinesh D'Souza, it's good to have you on Justice again. Thanks so much for all you've done.